Hey guys, Snoozy here, and today we will be going over our Project Diablo 2 Hydra Sorceress. And it's important to note here that this guide is for Project Diablo 2, which is a mod. It is not for Diablo 2 Resurrected. If you're looking for Diablo 2 Resurrected Hydra Sorceress, I already have a guide up for you. Might be a little bit out of date, but the premise should still be the same. I'll try to remember and link that in the comments below for you. But this is the Project Diablo 2. It is a pretty solid ladder start. You'll want to farm in hell if you're going this with the Far Oasis and the Maggot Lair, or the Rocky Tomb, which you can find by going out of the map here in Act 2 in the first zone. There are no fire immunes there for you, and it's a great place to get started. It's a relatively safe build. I generally don't recommend leveling as fire if you're going to go solo. There's a lot of fire immunes in the game. I usually go like orb or something like that. But if you want to play fire and you want to go as Hydra the whole way through, you can do it. Highly recommend starting with the leaf rune word in a staff to get some extra fire skills and stuff. Try to get it on like a fireball base or something like that, and you should be good to go. Let's get started with our mercenary. And as you can see, I don't have a belt on him because I forgot to put it on there, and I'm too lazy to fix that. So, String of Ears, perfectly acceptable here with Life Leech and Physical Damage Reduction. For our weapon, we will be using Infinity, and that is just to lower the resistance via Conviction Aura. The helmet, we're going to be using Flickering Flame. This one rolled about as bad as you can actually get it, so this needs re-rolled. That's all there is to it. The reason we're using this is Resist Fire Aura on Project Diablo 2 actually does increase fire damage by people affected by it. So this Resist Fire Aura will increase our Hydra damage. For our chest piece, this is just a 157% enhanced damage chest piece. If you want more survivability, you can do something like that. You could even do Treachery for attack speed. If you want to give him more damage, you could do a better armor roll here. But really, this guy just needs to exist for infinity. We're using Laying of Hands Bramble Mitts, and we are using Gore Riders for our boots. He might die because I don't think he has any actual life leech because we don't have our belt on, so that kind of stinks, but that really shouldn't matter. Here we're using an Oculus +3 and resistances and Magic Find. You could use Ashutas if you want more damage. You could use Hoto if you want resistances. I personally like Oculus. I would probably do Facets in here, or Ist Runes, or All Res Jewels, or Magic Find Jewels. There's a lot of stuff you can do. This weapon slot's pretty independent here. I personally like Oculus, 2% for a level 1 teleport. Not that big of a deal, really. Shaco is pretty good. This is a low one with only one socket and a bad corruption. Ideally, you want 2 sockets on there, and you can get a Chamber in there for Cannot Be Frozen, or you can get your Cannot Be Frozen somewhere else. Currently, I do not have a Cannot Be Frozen on me, so I can get slowed down. But on Project Diablo 2, Frozen will slow your cast speed. We're using Maras just for some resistances. Cast speed on this isn't super important because we actually don't teleport a lot. I prefer using movement speed on this build rather than a teleport because of the damage reduction from teleporting. For our armor, we're going to be using a dragon, and for our shield, we're going to be using dragon. The reason for this is they give us the You May Summon 1 additional Hydra. The armor rolled +5 to Hydra, and the shield rolled +4. Try to get +5 in both. Mage Fist for the +1 to fire, and you could try to get faster cast rate on here with a slam. I am running with 2 Soges. It's important to note that with the Soges, if you're going to try to get slams, that the life on kill and mana on kill will not work with Hydras. So those slams do nothing for you, but make your equipment more expensive. Arachnid's Mesh, so we can get that +1 to all skills. Again, cast rate still not super important because we're not teleporting that much. And for our boots, these are just some dual res Magic Find boots. You are going to want to try to get more resistances on here. You could use War Traps if you have your resistances figured out and stuff like that. We're going to be using... we almost forgot about the call to arms and the lidless wall again. So we're using this for the battle orders and battle command. Torch and Annie, you can use whichever you really want. Doesn't matter the stats, just get them, they're great. Resistances, magic find, life, small charms, and then fire skillers the whole way here. You're going to want some faster hit recovery to hit your break points. I just don't have those. Lifers are also another good option. We are going to be going in enough strength to wear your gear, which really shouldn't be that much. I think, yeah, looks like Dragon is the most strength that we need at 77. If you're going Travs, I think you'll need a little bit higher. So just make sure you have enough strength for your gear. We're doing just nothing in dexterity based stats. For vitality and energy, if you don't have gear, go vitality. If you have more gear, you can go ahead and do energy. This is an energy shield build for the most part, and our Sojas will help us with that. For the skills, we're going to go all the way down to energy shield, and we'll begin maxing this. This will be the last one to max unless you want to sacrifice damage. If you want more defense in your energy shield, max this instead of one of the synergies. I have this as a secondary, that's why it's only a 57%. Bringing up energy shield, it's important that I mention this as well. We also have the 1 point into shiver armor. Now, what you can do is you can find a staff, and I don't know if I actually have one around here. Oh, I should have got this ahead of time. Don't know where the staff is, but you can find a 5-socketed staff somewhere. And in that 5-socketed staff, you're actually going to make your call to arms in it. What you're looking for is 3 to energy shield and 1 to shiver armor. The one I have is 3 to energy shield and 1 to chilling armor. I prefer shiver armor, but if you would rather use chilling armor, that works. And the reason for that is you'll save 4 skill points here that you can put into other places because you'll buff with your call to arms and put your shiver armor there. Another option is a 4-socketed staff to make memory in to give yourself a little bit of a boost of an energy shield rather than your call to arms. For fire, we're going to go 1 point into blaze for the velocity increase. This is how we'll be getting around. We're going to max firebolt, lesser hydra, and fire mastery. Now it's important to note that fire pierce does not work with hydra. I don't remember where I was reading this, but I think that maybe fire mastery works like a half rate with hydra. Not confident on that. I don't remember where I saw it. It was something I saw. Either way, you're going to max fire mastery for the fire damage to begin with. But definitely research that more. I do believe your facets will not work with minus fire resistance, so you don't need to worry about that there. Now, with that said, we're going to be doing a Royal Crypts map. This is actually one of my favorites. It's nothing really special on this map here. It's pretty simple. One of the changes that we have done here is you are able to actually battle orders in town now. And here's a string of ears. Let's actually put that on there. Get him his life leech back. So with the battle orders, I don't actually have them keybound. Wow, we should do that. We'll just do this real quick by manually clicking and switch back to our Hydras. And then we're going to buff up Energy Shield and Shiver Armor and open this up. And now you'll just put down, since we have the 2 dragons, we can put down a lot more Hydras. And by a lot more, I mean a whole 2. Seeing as how the base value is 3, that really does help increase it and get your damage. You'll notice a big damage increase once you get your dragons. I personally went straight for Infinity over the dragons, and I think I would probably do that again in the future as well. Mostly because of the resale value. It's going to be easier, I think, to sell a Mercenary Infinity than it is going to be to sell the dragons. I don't know how many other sorceresses are really going Hydra. It's not the fastest build in the world, as you can see here. You know, I think the Nova and Frost Nova Sorcs would probably be halfway done with the map by now if they were geared. But it is good enough. You want to keep that blaze up to keep your movement speed going. And the whole build is just put down your Hydras. If you want to do a little bit more damage, you can throw fireballs out to do a faster hit recovery set on monsters. That way it'll give them a little mini stun there. But one nice thing here is that while my Hydras and my Mercenary are literally doing everything, unlike a build like the Whirlwind Assassin that we uploaded a guide to for the season of 11, we have time to actually loot. Because we don't need to be throwing and hurling fireballs. We can just keep putting down our Hydras and letting them go. And the gear that we have can be upgraded. We're missing slams, we're missing sockets. Our Mercenary isn't completely set up. He should probably be using something like an Andariel's helmet as well. Or actually, he shouldn't be using Andariel's on this. I'm sorry. We're going to keep using the Flickering Flame that just needs rerolled. You wouldn't use that. You'd want Flickering Flame for the increased damage, and it also helps with your fire resistance because we are low. The reason we can get away with some of these low fire resistance is how Energy Shield actually works. I don't believe they have changed Energy Shield here on Project Diablo 2, but they haven't changed it enough to really matter for this. But I believe that the resistances when you take Energy Shield damage is set with a 0 resistance, and then damage to your health is based off of your resistance. At least that's how it is in the original Diablo games. I don't think that's changed here. If that has changed, let me know in the comments and I can add a little snippet so I don't spread misinformation. And I know you guys all want to see me unidentify that mantled heal ring, but yeah, didn't get lucky. But this is the whole build. Essentially, we just keep putting Hydras down and we keep moving forward. It's a relatively safe build, as you can see. You can get a little bit more aggressive by going ahead of your Hydras to loot a little bit quicker and get your Hydras in better spots. Or you can just keep hanging back like I am. It really depends on the map. One of the biggest caveats for this build, in my opinion, is maps that's an immune to physical and fire, which happens a lot. Even though we have Infinity, he still can't be broken. So you will have to be careful with running into some immunities like that. There isn't really a good way of dealing with that on this build, unfortunately. As I was saying about one of the negative things with this is those immunities, but also maps that have really fast monsters can also be a pain. Those little leaper guys from Act 2 and Zealots from Act 3 that just continuously run around. The Hydras really aren't that smart to like pre-aim where they're going to be going, so they can miss a lot of their shots, which can cause a lot of DPS loss. One reason we also don't teleport a lot is because of the minus damage. Here you can see I'm doing minus 35% damage when I teleport. But if I just keep Blaze up, and even though we're not clearing so fast, Blaze lets us get around as we need to really help us get around. I really recommend at least the 1 point in there. This is a really fun build. This is probably one of my favorites. They actually buffed this build in Season 11. I want to say it was a 30 or 50% increase to the Hydra Fireball Explosion, which really helps with your clear speed. That really kind of helped buff it. And I don't remember when they added Dragon gives +1 to Hydra for Sorceresses. Is it just Sorceress? No, it's for everybody. Okay. So everybody gets the plus Hydras. So that's also really nice. That's something that's different compared to like a Project Diablo 2. You don't get that. You'll get stuck with your normal amount of Hydras, and you can't really change it, unfortunately. But as you can see, this isn't a bad build. It's relatively expensive because of the Soges and the Infinity requirement and the Dragons. Let's see. Nosferatu's will come back for the ring. Mangsong and Skull Collector. Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. We'll come back for the Geeds. So you guys probably won't get to see the Geeds. I'm going to cut the video short before that. But there's always a chance we can get something fun out of there. One of the downsides also that I always forget about until I actually start playing. If you're like me, I hate doing potions. I don't really have a good way to restore life and mana. As you can see, my health just slowly is getting chipped away. Same with the mana as we take damage. With Hydras not being able to get life on kill and life on mana on kill, it really does hurt your sustain. So you will be chugging through potions. It's not bad as it could be. Really, if you don't take too much damage, if you're not face tanking stuff like I am, I tend to get a little bit too aggressive and come out up front where I shouldn't be. And there's the boss of the map, King Leoric. Just put the Hydras down on him, make sure the mercenary doesn't die. A couple fireballs for a little bit more damage. We'll identify this stuff real quick to get it out of the way. When you have a long distance like that, it doesn't hurt to teleport. It's only a 1 second delay, so it's not that bad. Delay on damage, that is. But this is definitely one of my favorite Sorceress builds. It's just a really relaxed gameplay style. But if you're looking for like a very fast farmer, you're going to want to go with like a Nova or a Frost Nova build. This build I don't think will really ever be able to compare to the speeds that those builds are getting unless this gets like super buffed or those get nerfed. Even then though, this is still a pretty good farmer and it's relatively safe. You can make much worse builds than this. Plus you get to play with Hydras. Like, how often do you really get to use Hydras? Especially like in the Lord of Destruction content. I have the video up for that Hydra content. But the big change between them is the Hydras and Lord of Destruction are not shooting fireballs. They shoot fire bolts. So essentially they're a lot slower because they can only hit one target at a time. Whereas here, they shoot fireballs, so they can shoot and hit more things, and they have increased fireball duration. Increased area of effect from their fireballs. Maybe one day I'll learn to talk right, but it's definitely not going to be today. And that's going to be... Oh, it looks like we still have a section over here, so we're not quite done yet. But as you can see, it doesn't clear too slow. It's relatively relaxing gameplay. I really want to get this set up for a controller and see how a Hydra plays out with that. I feel like this might be a nice relaxing build to play with the controller on. Compared to some like other fast builds. But that's it. That is the whole Hydra build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is a lot of fun, and I do recommend it. Just keep in mind, Dragon does have Sur in it, which is about 1.5, and Low is usually about 1. So you're looking at about 2.5 high runes per Dragon. So, yeah, 2.5 there, 2.5 here, that's 5. Let's say 1 for each Soj, 6, 7, I don't know, maybe 1 here, 2 here, 8 or 9. I usually buy these unidentified. It's a pretty expensive build. You're already at like 8 or 9, and then you need to get into your infinity, which is Burr Malburis. So let's just say you got lucky and got it for 2 Burr because you traded somebody. You're at about 14, 15 high runes to get this up off the ground. Now, do you need all of this? No. You can go and farm, like I said, in Act 2. Out of the gate here, go down in the very first area into the Stony Tomb. You don't want to progress through the map. Or you can go to Far Oasis and farm in the Maggot Lair. Both Stony Tomb and Maggot Lair are going to be level 85. I actually found a Tyrael's Might. Templar's Might from the Maggot Lair. So you can have a lot of good stuff drop there. But that is the Hydra Sorceress, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any comments, let me know. I will link the video for the D2R Hydra build, just in case you came across this video looking for that one. They are different games and different builds. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys later. Toodles.